All right. I have another story that makes me go, something's not right there. Apparently, this story makes the rest of the media go, at least it does Al Franken. Here's Al Franken at the hearings. Oh, who's got sleepy eyes? Who's sleepy? Who's a little sleepy? This is Al Franken at the Kagan hearings. Here you have somebody who, look at it. Don't you hate that moment? I hate that moment where you're like, this is a woman that you don't know anything about. And what we do know sends up enough flags, you know, there's enough red flags to be really a protest at the G20. There's something wrong here. Now, here are a few moments from the hearings that I found just a wee bit interesting. Kagan was asked if she considered herself a progressive in the mold of Obama. Watch. So, this is not the clip, but it's a lovely picture of her. Here we go. That's not a lovely picture of her. Do we have a...
I'm not quite sure how I would characterize my politics, but one thing I do know is that my politics would be, must be, have to be completely separate from my judging. All
right. There was a little hemming and hawing. Television, we cut everything way too tight. You miss it. When you really see things, it's like you're reading the original sources. You got to read the original source. She was asked, hey, are you progressive? Then she went into that. She avoided the progressive word like the plague. America, give yourself a pat on the back. You have learned who the progressives really are. 2 years ago, Hillary Clinton and I proudly call myself a progressive, the model of an early 20th century, very American progressive. They were scared to death to admit that they were liberals. They called themselves progressives. Now they know you are on to them. So she's playing dumb. Like, I don't know what a legal progressive really is. If you don't know what a legal progressive is, you're not smart enough to be on the Supreme Court. Let me help you. A legal progressive believes that the Constitution really isn't relative today. It's outdated, you know. And we base the current law on case law, not the Constitution. That's what it is, and just in case you... I said it in a professorial kind of voice, so Kagan might get her arms around it. Here's another incredible moment. This is Senator Coburn, while alluding to the health care bill, asked Kagan, can't believe we even have to ask these questions in America today, if she believed the government could tell people what they can and cannot eat.
Well, I guess the question I'm asking you is, do we have the power to tell people what they have to eat every day?
Senator Coburn,
I mean, what is the extent of the Commerce Clause? We have this wide embrace of the Commerce Clause, which these guys who wrote this never, ever fathomed that we would be so stupid to take our liberties away by expanding the Commerce Clause.
Okay. It's really not a hard question. Let's see. Can the government tell people what to eat? No. 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 But she couldn't answer it. I wish we were smart enough to figure out what that meant, you know. Poppycock. You just got a preview of how one Supreme Court justice would vote against the constitutionality of the health care bill. Because that's what's in the health care bill. They can tell you what to eat. Finally, this one made my eyes and ears bleed. The first time I saw this, I couldn't believe it. Solicitor General of the United States, Elena Kagan, argued in front of the Supreme Court that the federal government had the constitutional authority to ban certain political pamphlets. Tell that to Thomas Paine. She also strongly implied that some political books, if they were partisan enough, could also be censored. She argues that she really wouldn't have a problem with it because the law really would never be applied anyway. Watch.
The government's view is that although 441B does cover full-length books, that there would be a quite good as-applied challenge to any attempt to apply 441B in that context. And I should say that the FEC has never applied 441B in that context. So for 60 years, a book has never been at issue.
For 60 years, and it could never happen in the history of the world. No one has ever banned books, certainly not a progressive. You know, that doesn't really make me feel all warm and fuzzy inside that we got a person that would sit on the Supreme Court and say, ban books? Get the hell out of my courtroom. You know what's really strange? There's nobody in America who thinks banning books is constitutional or a good idea. I mean, you immediately think of Hitler. Bad idea. But think of the amazing size of the population here in America that think, oh yeah, I would never ban books, but what's that political speech on radio or the internet? What's the difference? I mean, I hate to tell Elena Kagan and all of her friends in Progressiveville, but political speech should never, can never be banned in any form. No, political speech. I learned that from the guy I like to call America's first blogger, Thomas Paine. Back in a minute. Okay, in that last news break, how many things are in there that you win? Wait a minute, what? We just showed you a minute ago, it would be hard to match the insanity of the Elena Kagan nomination hearings. Do you remember what they did to Robert Bork? Do you remember that? This woman is less extreme than Robert Bork? Some have called these hearings the Kabuki Theater, which I think is an insult to a highly stylized Japanese dance drama classic. Why the hate on Kabuki Theater? Not even the Kagan hearings can come close, however, to the display put on by California Congressman Pete Stark. Here's Pete. There he is. How you doing, Pete? He's speaking at what appears to be a town hall type gathering to his constituents. He's got to talk to his constituents. He's only been in office since 1973. When the topic of border security comes up, here's how he handles it.
The Minutemen want to have something to say?
Yep.
Who are you going to kill today?
Who are we going to kill today?
Yeah.
Well, I just would like to know, well, actually American citizens are being killed right now by this drug war that's going on.
That's right.
Yes, yes, Congressman, you smug, sanctimonious sack of sarcasm. You're right. There are people being killed. American citizens are being killed in this drug war, and they're being kidnapped. According to ABC News, and I quote, Phoenix, Arizona has become the kidnapping capital of America, with more incidents than any other city in the world outside of Mexico City. Mexico City must have just been bumped up because it used to be Bogota, Colombia. Phoenix, Arizona, Bogota, Colombia. You think we got a problem in our country? It is so dangerous that in Arizona they have closed off an area that stretches 80 miles along the border. Some might say that's called giving up sovereignty. Many police officers have lost their lives at the hands of those who are here illegally. He doesn't mention that. No problem. It's the Minutemen who are causing the problem. Illegals have been victimized by drug dealers and coyotes who smuggle them over the border. Let me tell you something. You hire an illegal, you are engaged in modern-day slavery. This situation for everyone concerned is bad. Maybe the congressman could take it seriously. You know. No, he just has to ask the Minutemen who he's going to kill today. What kind of slanderous attack is that? Stark immediately starts out smearing this man and this organization without any provocation whatsoever. Where is Nancy Pelosi crying out, oh, the violent, hateful rhetoric, I've seen this kind of stuff before. Yes, you have. But the congressman was just warming up.
Okay, I want to know why the federal government is not doing anything or a lot more to seal our borders in this country so that we're a solvent country again.
Oh, we can't get enough Minutemen armed. We'd like to get all the Minutemen armed so that they could stop shooting people here.
It's not our job. We're just citizens. It's the United States government constitutionally protect us.
Well, so say we'll try and get you some more arms and get you down there to.
We don't want to go down there. We want to have lives, of normal lives. We pay taxes, and we pay to have the government take care of our borders.
Is that all?
Is that all what?
The government should do?
Well, that's one of the things the government is supposed to do. That's what the federal government is there for. They said they were going to do it, and they're not doing it.
Well, then we don't need the Minutemen.
That's correct.
Good.
We don't want to be doing
let's
this.
send the Minutemen home. That's a good idea.
No, what?
King George! These people are turning into King George. Let me just clear up a few of the stark raving lies here. Even though Stark has some sort of Minutemen shoot everybody on sight smear campaign going on, the fact is there has never been a border shooting involving a Minuteman. Not one, zero, none.